Greetings, Ian from RTO. RTO. Get it right here. Welcome to a very gloomy day in Northampton. It's just terrible here. The light's terrible, so I do apologise. I've done my best to get it nice and bright, but when you're battling with the elements, you're not going to get that. So, it's Battle of the Debuts Day. And I've got a real toughie one today. Putting two giants of music together. They wrote many songs together when they were in the Beatles. After the Beatles split up, everyone went their separate ways. So we're going to look at the first two albums of two Beatles, one being Paul McCartney, the other being John Lennon, of course. So first up today, because he released his album first, is Paul McCartney. And the album is just called McCartney, and it was released on the 17th of April 1970 by Apple Records, and Paul recorded it in secrecy, mostly using home recording equipment in his house in St John's Wood. So Paul McCartney plays everything on the air, from vocals to acoustic guitars, drums, piano, effects, and his wife Linda did some harmony vocals. So the first track on this one is just called The Lovely Linda. It's only a 43-second thing. It's a quirky little thing. It's okay. Then we get a track, That Would Be Something. It's okay. I mean, this is doing in a basement, but knowing Paul McCartney's basement is bigger than my flat with all the rooms put together. Considering how it was recorded, yeah, it's pretty cool. Valentine Day. It's a very short acoustic track, pretty good actually. Then we get Every Night, a really nice track, very basic, of course, but still a very nice track. Then we get Hot as Sunglasses, very Spanish sort of feel to it on the guitar, very good. Then we get Junk. I like this. I like Linda's backing vocals on this. She was really good at her singing, was pretty good as a backing singer, but as a lead singer, no. But she had some really nice backing vocals on this. And then Man We Was Lonely, some really nice guitar work here from Paul. Nice vocal as ever. Then we get a thing called Ooh You. I just love the basics of this one again. You can just imagine him sitting in his basement and just chilling out. You get the gist of that. Then we get Momma, Miss America, my favourite track on the album. Concerning there was lots of restrictions on what he could do, he really got a really good sound on this, and it's a great guitar solo. Then we get Teddy Boy. It's another good solid rock track. Consider as again, this is the basic stuff he's doing. Singalong Junk, nice little instrumental with some lovely piano work on this. Maybe I'm Amazed, a really good song, great vocal from Paul, simple song but very good. Then we get Kreen-Akrore, a little bit different, but it does show what we was going to get from Paul in his career. I mean, we've covered him in the Paul McCartney story, so we know, we're going to get some really good stuff from him. And with Wings, what do I think of this album? Well, now considering this is recorded in secrecy, because I think he's recorded it while he was still with the Beatles, or when it was going through the breakup next century. But it's a really good album, and people do forget about this one. I quite like this album. Considering how it's recorded, you've got to take that into consideration. So I really liked it. I still do. I still play it to this day. I always like putting this album on. So what did the critics think? Well, on release, McCartney was widely criticised for being underproduced and unfinished. Some of these people are about as thick as two short planks, aren't they? We know how it was recorded, and it was very basic equipment. You're not going to get the sort of production you got on a Beatles album. I mean, how stupid is that? Oh. But in a favourable assessment for the NME, Alan Smith wrote, while on the first listen he found McCartney too harmlessly mild, his view changed with times. That, listening to it is like hearing a man's personal contentment committed to the sound of music. Most of the sounds, effects and ideas are sheer brilliance, much of the aura of the quiet songs on a hot summer night. See? Someone knew what they were typing. Now, what did the Rolling Stone? They usually come up with some rather Langdon winner found the songs distinctly second-rate relative to the best compositions as a Beatle. Again, these people, you can't expect the full regalia when you're writing and doing this in secrecy in the basement of your house. These people are just ridiculous sometimes. It really boils me. Do they do it on paper? So what did the other thing? All Music gave it 4 stars. The AB Club gave it a B. Binder gave it 4 stars. Chris Stew Record Guide gave it a B. Consequence of Sound gave it 4 stars. Encyclopedia of Popular Music gave it 3 stars. Music Hound 3.5 out of 5. Pitchfork 7.9 out of 10. Record Collector have given it 3 stars. The Rolling Stone Album Guide gave it 2 and a bit stars, but what do they know about music? Everyone else goes mad about it, and the critics from the Rolling Stones called it rubbish, like they do on most of the stuff. So how did the fans react? Well, it got to number 2 in the UK charts and number 1 in America. See, the fans were right, and it got platinum in America and platinum in Canada. So let's have a look at the nuts and bolts of this one. Song quality for this album. I think the songs are really good. Paul McCartney is a great songwriter. Full stop. For writing on his own, very good. So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. Production. Okay, it's not brilliant, okay. But let's really look at it. It's recorded on very basic home recording equipment in a basement in St John's Wood. And I think he did a fantastic job of getting a really nice sounding album. So I'm going to give this another 4 out of 5. Reception. Apart from 1 or 2 idiots in the music press, I think everybody was warmth to this album. The fans certainly did, didn't they? Number 2 in the UK, number 1 in America. What more can you say? So I'm going to give reception 4 out of 5 again. Cover design. It's eye-catching, it's quirky. I don't know what it is, but if you look at some of the other McCartney album covers, they are weird and wonderful. But it's bright. That red against the black stands out. So I'm going to give cover design a 4 out of 5. So it's all the 4s today. So McCartney by Paul McCartney gets a grand total of 16 out of 20. Okay, then let's move on to the other Beatle. This one is John Lennon. And his debut album, John Lennon and the Plastic Ono Band. It was John Lennon backed by the Plastic Ono Band and was released again by Apple on the 11th of December 1970 in tandem with a similarly titled album by his wife, Yoko. Yes. Co-produced by Lennon, Ono and Phil Spector. So we've got John Lennon does the vocals, acoustic guitar, piano, organ. Ringo Starr plays drums on a few of the tracks. Klaus Wuman plays bass guitar. Phil Spector on piano. Billy Preston plays grand piano. And how's this? Yoko Ono's Goes Down as Wind. Yes, a big bag of wind. So the first track is called Mother. It's alright. I just find it a little bit dreary in places, to be honest. It needs something to give it a big kick at the backside. Hold on. It's alright. Again, it's nothing special. Unfortunately, I found out I like this one. I love the guitar riff in this. It's got some really nice drumming on this from Ringo. Pretty cool. Then we get my favourite track on here, and it's one of my favourite John Lennon tracks, full stop. Working Class Hero. Brilliant song. Love that song so much. I love the lyrics are fantastic. It's a great arrangement. A great vocal from John. Then we get my second favourite track on the album, Isolation. Remember, Johnny Depp and Jeff Beck murdered this on that album they did. It's a brilliant song from John. Really like it. Then we get Remember, a good track. I love the singing from John on this. Really, really strong. I'm going to put the light on because it's getting a bit dark in here. It's getting darker. Let's put the light on. Sorry, folks. Then we get Love. I think this it's got potential, but it seems very unfinished. Seems more like a demo track. I don't know what it sounded like if they'd have done more on it. Then we get Well, Well, Well. Again, it just feels like it's unfinished. Very basic. Production is pretty naff. It sounds like it's been recorded by, you know, the old little cassette, the first cassette recorder things you used to get with the, you could plug the mic in. That's what it sounds like it's been recorded on. Then we get Look at Me. I like this track. It actually feels finished. Good little track. Then we get a track called God. It's a good track. It's got one of the best tracks on the album. Probably my third favourite on the album. A good little track. My Mummy's Dead. Well, this is one of these stupid things that doesn't matter who the artist is, they put this pointless rubbish on at the end of an album. You know, it's 49 seconds that I really don't want to be bothered with. What do I think of this album? It's okay. There are 3 outstanding tracks on here, but a lot of these I think sound unfinished. You know, it's an album I don't particularly play a lot. I prefer some of the other ones. I think there's some really good stuff on here, but as I said, I think there's some of his other solo albums are much better. What did the critics think? Although John Lennon's received some highly favourable reviews, critical reception to the album was mixed overall. Andy Gray of the NME said it offered truths that would resonate for most listeners, but that Lennon was governed by a great big chip on his shoulder about class consciousness and the unfairness of the world. Yeah, there's a lot of people like that around today, isn't there? Guardian's Geoffrey Cannon opinionated that Lennon had taken the self-centeredness of McCartney to an obsessive level. He predicted that the songs would have limited interest, but added, Lennon's album makes a deep impression, if more on him than us. It screams and cries desolation, bitterness and anguish. This album of a man of black bile, Sorry, I'll start that again. It's words I still have trouble with. This album of a man of black bile. This is a declamation, not declamation, not music. Writing in the Times, Richard Williams described Plastic Ono Band as almostly unbearably stark and not an album I can put on for pleasure. Quite true. And they reckon this is widely considered to be the best solo album by Lennon and most of the most influential work. Yeah, righto. I don't understand that one. So what do people say? Well, AllMusic gave it 5 stars. Christian Record Guide gave it an A. Mojo 5 out of 5 from Music Hound Rock. NNMe gave it an 8 out of 10. Pace gave it 5. Q gave it 4. Rolling Stone gave it 4. The Ultimate Guide gave it 5. And Uncut. So what did the fans think? Number 8 in the UK, number 6 in the US. It's got silver in UK and gold in America. Let's have a look at the nuts and bolts of this. Song quality, again, John Lennon is a really good songwriter. Can't take that away from him. So the lyrics of these songs are really John. It just John at his best and his little anguishes. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. Production. It's not very good. There's only 3 songs on there I think that sound finished. The rest just sound like demos. So I can only give it a 3 out of 5. Reception. For some reason the critics loved it. I don't know if it's just because it was John Lennon. Fans, they preferred Paul McCartney, didn't they? So I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 for reception. Cover design. It's a really nice cover. Well, you can't deny that. Really nice cover. Trees. Peaceful. So I am going to give it a 5 out of 5 for the cover because it's a really nice cover. So for John Lennon and Plastic Ono Band gives us a grand total of 15. So here we go. According to the figures, it was Paul McCartney today. And I'm going to say, I'm quite frankly, out of the 2 albums, I seem to listen to Paul McCartney's debut album more than John Lennon's, because I think it's got better production. And I'm going to be quite brutal about this. I think John had got a bit of a chip on his shoulder at the time. I think he thought he could just do anything and people would buy it. Okay, people did buy it, but you listen to them now, I still prefer Paul's, and I can't, for the love of me, why they think this is John Lennon's best solo album, I can never understand that, because I think it's one of it. Well, I'm not going to say, because I am going to rank these albums, but I prefer, there's 2 or 3 others that I much prefer to this, and this is one that I put on. I mean, I put this on to do this, and I hadn't listened to this album probably for over a year, in all honesty. That's how, I mean, last time I listened to Paul McCartney, before that, it was probably when I ranked Paul McCartney, and after that, I think about a few months. So I played that one quite a lot, because I like it. So today, it's definitely McCartney is the winner. So that's what I think, but what you think, you know the drill. Go and vote in the community. If you're watching this on the other places, I'll put the poll up, but best place to do it is actually on my community page on YouTube, or come and cast your vote tonight on the live stream. And if you think I'd like to know if people do think that this was John Lennon's best solo album, and why. Because I can't find any reason to think why that people say it is. Okay, bit of controversial today, but that's what it's all about, these Battle of the Debuts. That's why I decided to do Battle of the Debuts, because it does spark some controversial topic. Okay, I'll be back later for a album artwork, and this week we have got Christian rockers Striper, who have done some of the most fantastic album covers. I hope the light has improved a little bit, but I can't see it today because it's that fine rain as well, that wet rain as I call it. It's just a horrible day. So I will see you later. Bye for now.